Hello everyone, and welcome to another game of World of Warships. Today's replay is from Jackie HAK, and I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. Now he's in a Des Moines, on the map mountain range, in a 3-point domination game. So there's no carrier, there is 2 destroyers, and he has positioned himself here so that he is somewhat close to the cap and has some cover. Now, there is a rooster pushing in here in the open, showing broadside. That's a very bad choice on it. Like, I mean, the rooster is now trying to angle, but why would you push into a cap in a rooster? Like, this rooster needs a miracle of epic proportions to get out of there still floating. Like, it's not even that he's pushing a destroyer or anything, there is really no real reason for this guy to be here. And there is also not really much chance of him escaping unless, yeah, I don't know, we get a miracle. Like, he's angling now. But there is like a Bismarck, a Yamato, a Des Moines, a Kutuzov, possibly a Neptune, all that can just shoot him. He has no cover, he's probably too close for concealment. And there was no way he could actually take this cap. There was nothing for him to even radar or YOLO push, and he might actually be getting away with that, which is... oh my god. So... okay, that's happened. Now anyway, our Des Moines here, I mean, he's in a pretty decent position. He has this mountain here protecting him from some of the enemies, and he can't cover the whole cap with his radar, but he's as close as he can somewhat safely get. Now, the friendly battleships are surprisingly aggressive here, which is nice to see. That's exactly what you want to see. There isn't a large enemy force, so this Yamato being in such a forward position is amazing to see. And it's actually a surprising amount of shells he can get around this mountain. He's very careful here because he really doesn't want to get obliterated here. Now the Wooster is back. Wooster's still on pretty low health, and Wooster should have probably tried to get inside the smoke screen. Maybe he was afraid of radar or something. But once again, turns out open water Wooster is not the best Wooster. So, we have a Hindenburg and an Iowa here. And there seems some torpedoes incoming. Now, there's obviously a destroyer in here, so our Des Moines will probably try to get close enough to get a radar off. Now, he has to be careful if he's showing broadside to those guys. Currently that island should protect him from the Iowa. He's also unspotted nicely. But... yeah. He's caught the enemy Akisuki. He got as close as he could while still remaining in cover of this island, and he is still like, he is very conscious of the enemy ships that could actually do a lot of harm to him. So he's therefore very carefully keeping this island here as his cover. And now we will see if they can take out this Akisuki. That would certainly be rather helpful. Now the enemy team has completely overrun the sea cap, the friendly ships there. Well, I guess the Hindenburg is going down, the other ships are in a reasonable retreat. And there goes the Akisuki. There is also, by the way, soon a Cyclone starting. And now he has to be careful here. If he ventures too far, he will be broadside onto the Hindenburg and Iowa. The Yamato is still pushing, by the way, which is nice to see. And the Bismarck, the Neptune are inside the cap, the Kutuzov is moving up. Like, none of those ships decided to stick around in the eye line or something like that. Like, this whole flank, it's just a joy to see. And yeah, the enemy is here, he's in full retreat. Now, there are basically 2 options in a situation like this. You can keep pushing the enemy and try to corner them and sink them, but this takes a lot of time and it takes you out of position, and like, the friendly forces here might need help. Now, if you ignore those guys, they might have broadside shots along your way if you like push here towards the center. So, it's not always an easy choice what to do. Let's put it like this. I usually tend to ignore ships that are going too far to the zone wall. If it takes too much time to hunt them down, it's often not worth it. But here we have an additional factor. We have a Cyclone. And in a Cyclone, those flanking positions here become useless, right? They will never create a crossfire because they won't see anything to shoot at. So if those guys run towards the A line, at this point they can be safely ignored. And our friendlies can just move towards the center. And that is exactly where, like, all of the ships are going. It's so amazing to watch, right? The battleships, like the Yamato pushed in until the enemy was in full retreat. And then he decided, like, done my job, tanked the enemy, pushed them back. Now let's go to the center. Because there is an actual push coming from the center, and that's where the friendly forces are needed. And yeah, Bismarck also going this way, Yamato going this way, even the cruisers. And I suspect we will see a lot of action there in the center. So let's speed this up a little bit while our ships are getting in position. Right now there is nothing to do for our Des Moines here, there is nothing really in range. And there we go. There is, well, there are some blind shots into this smoke, because why not? He doesn't have anything else to shoot at. I'd probably go for high explosive here if you're shooting a destroyer. But, you know, it doesn't matter too much, I guess. Now, ship-wise, the enemy team is one ship ahead, but the friendlies have a slight cap advantage. It's still a pretty even match, and it will be decided on how this brawl in the center goes. Now, if the enemy ships in the north are clever, then they immediately turn around once they were unspotted and are pushing back in. And that's really what they need to do, because they need to contribute to this battle. They might still come in here from behind and do something. In a Cyclone, it's always a bit risky because you don't have a lot of spotting information and you don't know how many ships you will encounter. Now what we have here is a Minotaur who is inside the smoke, but he's getting raided and now he's caught broadside on. And yeah, that was even a devastating strike. Interesting. And look at this friendly blob, right? In a Cyclone, it's so important to stick together to support each other because you can't really see enemies further away. And that's exactly what the friendlies are doing here. So next up we have a destroyer who, yeah, well, I guess he escaped for now. Now up a Bismarck charging in here. Now that might be a little bit troublesome. Bismarck obviously a very good brawler, very strong secondaries, and our Des Moines here is taking it slow here, he's slightly reversing. Bismarck is one of the ships who can't overmatch a Des Moines nose, so there are some positives I guess in fighting a Bismarck. But it's not like he is alone here, right? The Bismarck is focusing the Neptune currently, and the friendlies are just going in. Like, the battleships are a little bit behind here, but the battleships are moving in here as well. As they should. And this is just turning out to be a massive fight. This Bismarck is pretty much done for. Next up we have a Friedrich. Friendly Neptune going down. Friedrich showing way too much broadside here. Like, I mean, there is a Yamato who can really shoot him there. There is the Des Moines who can farm him. There is the Kutuzov. And okay, looks like our ships are going in for a quick hack there. Well, this Friedrich is done for anyway. Next up we have an Alabama. There also seems to be the Republic entering the fray. And he's going for some radar here, found himself the enemy destroyer. Let's see if he can quickly take care of that. Nice! So that's one less threat here for the friendlies. And now, well, I mean, he has to kind of angle against the Alabama and the Republic here. He is inside the smoke screen. Well, I guess that doesn't matter, the enemy is too close. So currently he is a bit broadsidey. That could end pretty problematic. Like when you look at the minimap here, the Republic could just eat him alive there. Now he is currently trying to angle and see how that turns out. There is a high caliber, like he's absolutely demolishing ships with his armor piercing here. I mean, in a Cyclone, and with so many ships in so close quarters, it's pretty hard to angle against everything. So far this is working pretty nicely. Meanwhile, the friendlies took care of the other battleship. We even have an Iowa pushing inside the sea cap and only 2 enemy ships remaining. So basically the Iowa and the Hindenburg that went for the zone wall there on. Well, I mean, they returned to Cap A, but they were not part of this epic battle here, and they basically didn't contribute to this fight. And that was certainly a disadvantage for the enemy team. It's like running away that far. I think the enemy, they just didn't turn around soon enough. Like, they needed to retreat, because they were pushed too hard with too many enemies. But I feel like they failed to rejoin the battle in time, especially in a Cyclone that's... You have to be very careful not to be too far out of position. Our BBs had a brain, thank God. Well played, guys. That's also nice to see. Like, yeah, the battleships, they just went in and they brawled. And that's what was needed there. And it was so nice to see. Like, also in the beginning, the battleships just keeping up with the cruisers pushing in. It's just a joy to watch if you have a competent team. It's just a joy to watch. And right now it's just all that remains is farm a little bit more damage before this is all over. At this point, this game is won, right? And here we are with some results. Jackie earned himself 3,129 base experience, and it was certainly a joy to watch. He earned himself a devastating strike, a Confederate, a Kraken, and a high caliber, scoring 285,000 points of damage, and it was just one amazing brawl there in a Cyclone. It's like the whole friendly team showed up, basically, and a lot of enemies showed up, and it was just epic. So I hope you enjoyed watching that too, and I'll see you guys next time.